Do you know that it doesn't have to be David that will kill Goliath? It doesn't have to. And the reason is this. Remember that from what we had, I think for over 30 days or 40 days,
the guy had been...
Goliath had been taunting them.
Yeah.
Don't you guys have an army? All you these short people. Do you know that if nobody got up, the Philistines would have taken the Israelis as slaves again?
Yeah.
And God would not do anything because it wasn't ordained. But God was waiting for someone that would realize the power he has so that God can reach onto it.
Hello everyone. I'm warming up to the idea of saying hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Yay! Hi Dips.
Sup.
How are you?
We are getting there.
Are you ready? Are you ready for my buzzbuzz?
God help me.
You're ready. You're always ready. Don't worry. Okay.
Thank God.
So the question of the day. This question, in fact, I don't know. Of course, I know how to ask it, but it's the response. I don't know how it's going to go. It can go a lot of ways. And the question is, are there some things that God has predestined? I'll give you an example of what I mean. Remember Pharaoh and how God said he by himself hardened the guy's heart. Now, he hardened Pharaoh's heart. Now, the guy was actually, living out the hardness of heart. Did Pharaoh really have any choice? Did he have any choice? Or he was just living out what God had predestined? As in, I don't think. What do you think? It's like I'm even feeling bad for the guy because see all the things that he had to go through. But it was God that hardened his heart. What do you think?
Just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, one thing I've known with God in terms of relationship is don't push him to the point where he wants to show you himself on the negative side.
Don't push God to the point
where he wants to show you that he's Lord indeed.
Okay.
You understand? Because as compassionate and merciful as God is, when I'm praying, I pray that God give me the grace to love you. Also give me the grace to fear you. Don't play with it. Fear you. Now, if you knew how powerful Pharaoh was,
they were like gods.
They were worshiping Pharaoh.
Yeah.
They were worshiping his image. So it was almost like he was God.
Yeah.
You understand? Maybe with a small g. But to the Egyptians then, he was God.
Yeah.
They had his image.
And they
were bowing to his image.
Yeah.
And if there is one thing that God hates, is having another God outside. You understand? So it was almost like God saying, okay, let us show who is more powerful. You understand? That, okay, maybe they worship you, Abi. You are a God by yourself. And whatever Pharaoh does, nobody can ask questions. So it's like, okay, you, Moses, go there. Go and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. But he would not let them go because I will harden his heart. I want to show him. And there's a level you get that God wants to show you. It's like what happens in all these movies. I'm not going to say, but all these English movies that they want to extract information out of you. The person is almost dead. They will not give the person one injection. Oh, why is this one funny? They will now give the person one injection to give him maybe adrenaline injection to give him power again. Somebody that was almost confessing will now get one power again and so that he can do more. So God was like, I will show you that I am not your mate on any level. So I will deal with you. I'll give you more power to still think you are that God. Then I'll deal with you. By the time I give you boost like 15 times, even your people, your subject on that.
I am God.
I am God, and this Father will not be God anything, no. But if I dealt with you only once, they may say maybe it's a fluke. But if I deal with you 10 times,
beyond every shadow of
but
doubt,
like God in his magnanimity can deal with him once and he'll tell him to go. Yeah. In fact, the first one was enough, but that wouldn't have shown the power of God.
Yeah.
That was why God said, that was why if you remember the 10th one, he said, this last one, you will let them go. Finally, that I'm going to do something in Israel that in Egypt that has never happened before. I'll kill all their firstborn. That's an entire generation wiped out without record. At that point, But even when they left, Pharaoh still went back later, pursue them again, So may we not get to the point whereby we'll get to a stage with God, that God will give us that haughtiness to think we are not what we are just to deal with us. So God doesn't predestine anything. And let me quickly run through even David and Goliath. Do you know that it doesn't have to be David that will kill Goliath? It doesn't have to. And the reason is this. David, from what we knew, had been a minder of his sheep. He would leave the others and run after a lion just to rescue one. So God saw that this was a caring young man. He would care for my people. You understand? So when the time for Goliath came, and David had to go to the battlefront to go and meet his brother Eliab. You understand? Remember that from what we had, I think for over 30 days or 40 days, Goliath had been taunting them.
Yeah.
Don't you guys have an army? All you these short people. We don't have to go to war with you.
Yeah.
Just let your strongest man come and meet me. Let's fight. If he wins me, all my people will be your slave. If it's the other way around. Do you know that if nobody got up, the Philistines would have taken the Israelis as slave again.
Yeah.
And God would not do anything because it wasn't ordained. But God was waiting for someone that would realize the power he has so that God can reach onto it. So God was waiting for, guys, with all the things I've taught you guys, can't one of you stand up full of energy, believing in me that I will help? You understand? So it was only David that had that effrontery that, look, who is this uncircumcised Philistines that is defying the army of the living God? At that point, God was like, let's go. You understand? Yeah. God was like, gang. Now someone is beginning to see his potential. You understand? And he said, I will bring this guy down in the name of God. At that point, God's ear was like, that's my boy. You understand? That is it. Yeah. And when they went to tell Saul gave him his armor, and David said, this is too heavy, sir. I can't fight with this. Because David knew it wasn't his battle. It was the battle of God. So he said, this sling that God has been helping me is what I will use to bring this guy down. And that was what he took there. So what happened was, immediately he picked up that sling. God took over. Okay. That if it was ordinary broom that you've been using, to know that it is not this broom that I will take it over and I would unleash myself on this guy. So if Eliab was the one that had said, I will face these Philistines in the name of the living God, God would have reached on him.
And you would have used
so that was why it took that 30 or 40 days. God was waiting that, with all I have taught you guys, nobody can step out believing in me. Guys, come on. That was when David came, and David said, I will take up. David was a teenager at that point. That I will take up this battle. And God said, finally. And immediately he said that thing, God just leached to him. And whatever David brought, Goliath would have come down. If David had used a spoon, Goliath would have come down. Because at that point, it wasn't the spoon, it wasn't David, it was God taking over. So it wasn't preordained that it must be David that must kill Goliath. What was preordained was anyone that believes in God would kill Goliath. Anyone that believed in God would have killed Goliath. Eliab could have killed Goliath. Saul himself could have killed Goliath, but only do one thing. Only bravado in the name of the Lord, and he will come and attach himself. So I'm not sure anything is as it were preordained. The only thing that is preordained is that before you were born, I knew you. The thought I had for you, I thought of good and not evil. That's the only thing that I can say is preordained. That it desires good for you and never evil. That one cannot change. But every other thing is the way you see God, that he will reflect himself in you. So that's the way I see it.
Nice. And maybe it was even a good thing that David was not there listening for 30 days to defeating,
yes.
defeating
that could
confession.
Have killed his morale and all of that too.
Because he didn't hear, and who's this little boy? Those little boys that would just have one kind of boldness.
With catapult.
Yeah. Believe they can do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's nice.
Exactly.
That's nice.
So it wasn't preordained. It wasn't preordained that John the Baptist would be beheaded. It wasn't. It was his attitude. How would God allow someone that baptized Jesus himself, now beheaded by King
Girl.
Herod because of a girl?
A little girl.
Even though I'm not sure God forgave King Herod, that was why he was smitten by worms, in one thing when he went to. I'm sure God was angry that, unfortunately, I couldn't stop you beheading John the Baptist, but I'll deal with you in other ways. Otherwise, it was attitude, because Jesus said, because he was doubting Jesus after he was, Jesus, where are you now? See the way they are embarrassing me. And Jesus said, go and tell John the Baptist that the blind can see, the lame can walk. And if he does not believe, it's his fault. You understand? And he was beheaded. Was that preordained by God that he would die like that? I don't think so.
But it's like people like Pharaoh now, they didn't have a knowledge of God. Do you understand? So did they have any sounding board to make them humble?
Well,
so that God will not use that as an excuse that it's because of your pride, I'm going to work with your pride to destroy you. They didn't have
they knew Pharaoh knew about the
God of
Israelis'
Israel.
God, because the previous Pharaoh was the one that housed Joseph.
True. And
that one believed in
the
God of Joseph.
You
understand? This one just came and felt it was too powerful.
Yeah.
You understand? It felt it was too powerful than your God of Israel. So previous Pharaoh knew there was a God in Israel that was powerful.
And then God just worked hand in hand with him to destroy him.
You understand? Just to show that indeed I am God and there is no other one.
Well.
So guys, this is what we are saying basically, bringing it to context in our today's terms. You are saying that, am I supposed to get married? Maybe I'm not supposed to get married. Or maybe I'm not supposed to be rich. Maybe I'm not supposed to prosper. No, that's not what God is saying. God is telling you today that the plan he has for us is the plan of good and not of evil. Being married is good. Being prosperous is good. It's not about where you live. I don't care if you live in the suburb of Lagos or you live in the upscale of Ikoyi. God will reach you anywhere you are. But are you willing to let yourself be used? Are you willing to remove yourself from that self-defeating attitude, believing that God indeed hasn't preordained that you should be poor, or you should be childless, or you should be without a partner? So that's what we are saying. That's what I am trying to say in all that we have discussed, that irrespective of where you are, God is saying there is a next level for you. So don't limit yourself to where you are, please. So remember what we've always hinged this on. God is a loving Father. And your desire is what is going to work with. So don't limit God by saying I'm not supposed to be rich. He hasn't said that. All right. So I hope you've learned with this. I hope you now have a rethink with this and tell yourself, no, I have not fulfilled my potentials. See you on our next video.
Okay. All right. Like I always say, I always learn so many things from you.
This particular one is
dips. All right. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode or this episode. I hope you enjoyed the banter, the chats, the gist. As always, we always want you to comment any questions you have. Please drop them, send us a DM, and most importantly, we just like you to subscribe. Thank you, and we hope to see you in the next
episode. Remember, we are in this together. Remember, whatever I'm saying is an inspiration from God. I didn't write anything anywhere. It's just God, I believe, using me to speak out to people. So guys, I remain humble, but subscribe. Let's go on this journey together.
See you again.
Bye guys.